illtags.com is an online service to fight against common cold, influenza and other infectious diseases. Internet against infectious diseases, for real. And we make it simple. illtags.com warns the subscribers about closing infections and reminds them to wash their hands. There would be no influenza if we could see it with our eyes and thus being able to avoid it. Our warning mechanism is revolutionary. We are not talking about rough statistical data about the seasonal influenza, but accurate information with personalized warnings. It's a valid question to ask, how can a small startup gather more accurate information about infectious diseases than World Health Organization, healthcare professionals and governments combined? This is how. We'll know where the infections are spreading by utilizing social media. The grouping information in social media services aligns with the way how infections spread. This, along with the fact that social media services are used to broadcast personal information, such as health status, opens the door for a completely new way of fighting infectious diseases. The name illtags comes from the fact that we put medical symptom information into rough but statistically accurate tags. When we put users into infectious contexts and list their tags, we get tag clouds. They can be analyzed or even diagnosed, eventually generating infectious alerts for the ones connected to the infectious contexts. illtags is connected to the reality in two ways, in weekly and in real-time level. First, our life in weekly level is quite the same. We live and work in specific locations, we meet our friends, we take our children to the pre-scheduled services, we commute and buy our groceries in the same places, in weekly level average. Infections can be therefore modeled using statistical analysis, where rough contextual information is enough. Second, in reality we are connected to a time and place, along with other people. This is our ubiquitous angle. If we could communicate our up-to-date infectious information, we could warn the users in real time. illtags.com mobile service utilizes Bluetooth to communicate infectious information. The mobile service is running in the phone background, sending and listening illtags, transmitted around populated spaces. illtags mobile service combines the weekly and the real time, pooling data from the slow diseases and combining it to the fast people. illtags.com web service paints the rough background of personal ill alerts. The mobile service takes the macro to the micro. The first version is a Symbian software running in the phone background, tracking other users via Bluetooth and tracking infectious contexts using GPS. The application simply gathers the current illtags around the user and, if necessary, reminds them to wash their hands immediately. The iPhone version will be similar, but as it can't run on background, it's focused on visualizing the infectious map, not as much broadcasting the user's ill status. And remember, this fall, illtags versus swine flu. Choose our side at illtags.com.